Are you one of those individuals who wonders aloud, why am I always broke? Or do you have a respectable job that pays well but your bank account is perpetually overdrawn? In this video, I'll give you 8 explanations for why the majority of people will always be poor regardless of how much money they make. Therefore, be sure to watch the entire video to learn what you can do to improve the situation. But first, if you haven't already, remember to follow this channel if you haven't already. Additionally, I want to thank any recurring subscribers for their continued support. Let's get started after that. Do you ever ponder why some people seem to be so wealthy while others are so impoverished? Well, in a study on the causes of poverty conducted by National Public Radio, the Kaiser Family Foundation, and Harvard University's Kennedy School, 48% of respondents attributed the persistence of poverty to people not doing enough to help themselves, while 45% attributed it to external factors. Additionally, about 39% of the poor shared the opinion of the more than half of the more wealthy survey respondents who thought the poor were not doing enough to help themselves. Despite the statistics, a lot of Americans today struggle with a variety of financial difficulties, including high living and healthcare costs, taxes, and college tuition. And some people feel as though they will always be poor due to these numerous burdens. Some people, however, are unable to escape poverty because of a string of careless financial choices they make on a daily basis and unfair circumstances, such as opportunities that are inferior to those enjoyed by the wealthy. Fortunately, there are methods you can employ to gradually increase your wealth. However, you must first identify the habits that are taxing your finances in order to start building wealth. And in this video, I'll be talking about that. Here are the 8 reasons why you could be stuck in an endless cycle of poverty. First, you don't save. 56% of Americans would not be able to pay a $1,000 unforeseen bill with savings, according to Bankrate data from 2022. In other words, Americans generally have insufficient savings. They are therefore more likely to become indebted, which perpetuates a cycle of poverty. Contrary to popular belief, you can begin saving without first reaching a certain income level. Regardless of your age, stage in life, or level of income, it is crucial to prioritize saving. The habit, not the amount, matters when it comes to saving. It all comes down to priorities, and no matter how much money you make, saving won't be easy if you don't prioritize it. You won't succeed in saving until you make it a top priority, whether your goal is to save for a new car, a home, or your retirement. People frequently believe that saving small amounts will never add up, but it does. The larger sum you hope for will eventually be reached by setting aside a small portion of each paycheck. Obviously, it's difficult to develop the habit of saving money. Practice is required. You're more likely to stick with it if you start doing it automatically each pay period. Also keep in mind that your chances of having a financially secure future are better the earlier you start. Number 2, you don't set financial objectives. Do you have a future financial strategy? Or do you simply let things happen? The harsh truth is that there is a world of difference between someone who lives life as it comes and someone who works with a plan. Even if it isn't the direct cause of your poverty, poor planning can keep you there. You can be completely convinced that you want to get out of poverty and into prosperity, but if you don't have a solid plan outlining how much money you want to make, how much you want to save, and how you want to do it, you're probably just counting on luck. One needs a thorough financial plan for the future if they want to get out of financial difficulty. Realistic short-term and long-term financial goals must be set and adhered to. Determine your goals for the next day, week, month, or even 5 years and write them down. You need to envision the future and plan a practical route to get there. You'll be inspired to manage your money better if you do this. Therefore, how do you create a financial plan? Make a list of all of your financial objectives, including those you've already started working toward and those you haven't. Then order these objectives according to the weight of their importance. Then list all the specifics for each objective, including the due date, the required funding, and the amount you have already saved. By doing so, you can develop a plan and determine what it will take to achieve each goal. You can hire a financial planner if you need assistance creating a financial plan. However, there are a number of YouTube videos and online articles that may be helpful if you're interested in finding out how to do it, so utilize these resources wisely. Number 3, you consistently spend more money than you make. We are frequently urged not to live beyond our means, an assertion that suggests a very practical strategy for reducing financial stress. But in practice, it's simpler to say than to do. Do you ever start anticipating your next paycheck in the middle of the month? Not because you've invested, but rather because you're about to run out of money? If the answer is yes, this should indicate that you are overspending. Today, everything is very accessible to us thanks to the internet. It is incredibly simple to make a purchase from the comfort of your home. Furthermore, the situation is not made any easier by social media. 57% of millennials in a recent survey said they made impulsive purchases as a result of what they saw on social media. This demonstrates the significant influence social media has on our purchasing decisions. It is simpler than ever to be persuaded by the glamorous online lives. You want to be like the people you see flaunting their flashy cars, brand new iPhones, and relaxing vacations. Therefore, you spend what little money you have or take out loans to have the same experiences. As a result of trying to maintain a lifestyle you cannot afford, you are trapped in debt. If this applies to you, it's time to reevaluate your spending patterns. Spend less on anything you don't need to and start saving. Number 4, you overspend on housing. The majority of people constantly live paycheck to paycheck, which is one of the reasons why. If housing costs take up a sizable portion of your income, your financial situation is undoubtedly suffering. The ideal housing cost is set at around 30%, which is the most you can spend on a home and still maintain a reasonable standard of living given your level of income. For instance, if your monthly pre-tax income is $3,200, you shouldn't rent a home that costs more than $960 a month. The 30% rule is a useful generalization, but it is not a set standard. As circumstances change, you might need to adapt. For instance, if you reside in a low-income area and the $575/month apartment is only 18% of your monthly income, you shouldn't pass it up. On the other hand, in cities like New York or San Francisco, where the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment exceeds $2,000 per month, staying within a 30% rent budget isn't always feasible. Therefore, if your rent expenses are too high, you should think about other options rather than continuing to live paycheck to paycheck. You might relocate to a less pricey area or home. You could also just find a roommate to share expenses with. Give this video a thumbs up if you find it entertaining and make sure to share it with your loved ones. Additionally, keep in mind to subscribe to this channel for additional pertinent content. I sincerely appreciate it. Number 5, you don't stick to a budget. Your personal finances literally have a budget as their foundation. Without a budget, you will undoubtedly continue to be financially strapped. Without a budget, most people are unaware of where their money goes each month, and managing your income in this way is extremely risky. A budget helps you keep track of how much money you spend each month, enables you to decide where to make cuts or allocate more money, helps you set goals, and determines when those goals are likely to be attained. A budget will always be avoided if you are conscious of your bad spending habits but do not want to be held responsible for them. You won't be able to change your financial situation as a result. Even though a budget can help you manage your spending and stay out of debt, few Americans actually keep up with their budgets. According to a recent survey by loan servicing firm Op Loans, 73% of Americans do not consistently stick to a budget. 1 in 10 participants also admitted that they do not maintain any kind of budget at all. According to a different survey, 65% of Americans were unaware of their monthly spending. The least likely generation to be aware of their spending habits is Generation Z. You must routinely keep track of your expenses if you want to have a budget that works. By better understanding your spending patterns, you can go forward with better plans. As a result, be sure to accurately record every expense. Fortunately, you can keep track of your expenses with the help of a variety of apps that are readily available for your phone or computer. Make use of them, then. Number 6, you're hoping someone will come to your rescue. A door to new opportunities may be opened by having the right connections, though it's a surefire way to keep yourself in poverty to think that the only way you can succeed is with someone else's assistance. Many people think that someone who is smarter or better than them holds the key to their success. Some people are hoping to run into an old friend or relative who can give them money-making tips, while others are led astray by those who tell them they can use their imagination to attract wealth. You don't always need other people to tell you what to do in order to succeed in today's world. You can find opportunities and develop skills on your own with the help of a number of free videos and courses. No one can save us but ourselves, as the Buddha once said. Nobody can, and nobody should. We have to proceed. You won't advance in life if you believe that someone must assist you. Stop hoping that your life will change because of a single person or event. Life doesn't operate like that. You must be prepared to work hard, venture outside of your comfort zone, and take chances. Instead of waiting to find out what you are naturally good at, you have to put up with the discomfort and laborious work of learning a skill. Number 7, you lack an emergency fund. Putting money aside for emergencies should come before retirement savings or debt repayment. A good way to safeguard yourself from unforeseen financial circumstances is to have an emergency fund. The possibility of losing your job and having to go without a regular paycheck exists at all times. Or you might need to take a trip you hadn't planned for or make a home repair. Your emergency fund will assist you in getting through that difficult situation by paying for some or all of the expenses. In this manner, you are not compelled to borrow money or use your savings. Having a backup plan in place will also put your mind at ease. Sometimes people will sacrifice their emergency fund in favor of retirement savings. That's not too bad. However, they must take money out of their retirement account when a significant expense arises. Your retirement account should only be withdrawn from as a last resort. Your retirement savings are depleted and penalties are almost certainly going to follow. For instance, a 10% penalty must be paid if an early withdrawal from a 401k is made. Number 8. You depend on one source of income. For a while, it may be convenient to only have one source of income, but what if you lose that job? What would happen if that company failed or your pay was cut? Relying on one source of income not only keeps you poor, but also puts you in a difficult financial situation if something unexpected happens. Your money can grow more quickly the more sources of income you have. Having multiple sources of income makes it much simpler for you to achieve your financial goals because it allows you to earn more and get there faster than you would if you only had one. If your current salary is not enough to cover your expenses, you should think about looking into other employment options. For example, you could begin a side business like blogging or video blogging. Stocks or real estate investing are both options. Alternately, turn yourself into a freelancer and look for lucrative jobs on websites like Upwork, Behance, Fiverr, and a host of others. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket, as the saying goes. The idea is to diversify your sources of income so that in the event that one fails, you won't lose everything. As a result, if you only have one source of income and something terrible happens, it will be disastrous for your financial situation. And getting back on your feet may take some time. Well guys, I really appreciate you watching. Do you agree with any of the points made in this video? Enter your ideas and experiences in the space provided below. It would be great to hear from you. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and to remind you to share and like this video and make sure to subscribe for more content like this.